Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and today we're going to be looking at a very easy to use game engine. And this one, I think, if I could best sum it up, let's picture Pico 8, a micro console designed for creating a minimalized set environment, kind of to make it easy to get started. And that one went and had a little baby with LÖVE, a great 2D framework for creating games using the Lua language, and you toss in a little bit of the design ethos of the Dragon Ruby game toolkit, all of those things together, and you have Usagi. The Usagi engine, Usagi apparently means rabbit, sort of, or it's a Sailor Moon reference. I'm not 100% sure from my Googling, but from the logo, obviously, we are going with rabbit here. And this is a simple 2D game engine for rapidly creating games. It uses Lua 5.5. It also kind of gives you a stripped-down environment, sort of like what you get with Pico 8, to keep things simple and purified, although you can override a lot of it. So by default, it starts with a very simple, low resolution, and it gives you a pre-created setup, and then you kind of go from there. So we're going to go ahead and check this one out. By the way, you can also go ahead and download it from itch.io. All you need to do is get the executable for it, put that executable in your path somewhere so you can run Usagi from anywhere, and then you are good to go. This is like a 2 megabyte install, by the way. On top of that, this is an open source project, so the code is available here. We're going to come back and need this in just a second. It is unlicensed license, which is actually a license, by the way, a very, very liberal license. So if you've never encountered unlicensed before, it's not unlicensed, it is using the unlicensed license. I know that's a very confusing thing to say, but that's what it is. By the way, if you like what they're doing here, drop them a star. Now, we're talking about them because they just hit the 1.0 release last week, and this is a very cool one. So we're going to go ahead and check it out. So how do you get started with this? Well, once you have Usagi installed and in your path somewhere, you should be able to see it right here. So we're going to go to temp. And you should be able to run Usagi. Usagi will then give you a list of commands like what you see right here. Now, what we want to do is we want to create a new project. So we're going to do Usagi and then init. Oh, wait, no. What I need to do is create the directory I want to be in first. So my game, cd, my game, cd, my game. There we go. And then we'll do Usagi init. So there it goes. It has now created our project. All we do is then go Visual Studio Code, and we'll go ahead and run that current directory right there, and this is running. Now, one thing you're going to want to do if you're working with this for an extended period of time, make sure you run the Lua language server. This will give you the ability to do code completion. Your project will automatically create these subfolders here, including this one, with all of the APIs defined for you, which makes IntelliSense and all that stuff work for you, which is a good thing. So once you've got here, you're going to notice here is your code. And it is about as straightforward as things get. So you got a function that is called for the configuration of your project. These are called at different points in the life cycle. Then you have initialization. This, in this point in time, just sets up a state variable for you. Update, this is called every time your game runs through the game loop. So this is the standard. This is where you would do stuff. And then you're gonna notice this being passed in DT, which is the delta, which is the amount of time since update was last called. So this is called every frame, and then here this is called to do your graphics. I believe this is called after update, but please do not quote me on that one. And there you see, this is how you go ahead and run it. So let's go check something out. So I'm gonna go here, let's fire up a terminal, a command prompt terminal like so. So here we are in our directory, and now we're just going to go ahead and run Usagi, and there are two ways you can do this. You can go ahead, Usagi, and then run. This is a one-time pop, and then it's done, and then your game runs, and there you go. That's as easy as it is to run a Usagi game. But we can also do Usagi, and then we can do dev. So this is basically a live watch. So go ahead, we'll run that over there. Let's get my code back over here, and now we can play around a little bit. So here you can see right now we've got the text being drawn with Usagi at 1010 and so on. So what I'm going to do is gfx dot rectangle fill like so. And then we're going to do simple dimension, so 0, 0, make that 100, make that 50, and then do color, gfx dot color dot green. All right, there's so we're drawing a green rectangle like so. As soon as I save that, boom, it is done over here. Now you notice it might go, okay, where the hell is our text? Well, this is a stack for the most part, so it is being drawn in order. We'll go ahead and change that, and boom, you instantly see it being updated. The nice thing about this dev server that we're working with right here, this will also check for changes in file system and so on. So if you change a image or a sprite that you are working with, it will automatically update it. So you can see with this live reload, it makes it really easy to change things and see the results on the fly like so. So that is the basics of Usagi. Now, I actually went ahead and downloaded that other version earlier on. So let's go ahead back here. So cd ... I think I downloaded it. Maybe I didn't. So let's go ahead. Oh, I'm an idiot. All right, let's go back here. We'll grab this guy once again, and then we'll just go ahead and clone that repository. So boom, we're just going to bring down the Usagi GitHub repository there. And you're going to notice if you move into that, you've got an examples folder. So cd examples, and then right here, you're going to notice again, you've got examples for all kinds of things. So bunny mark is a very common one, for example, if you want to see how fast this goes ahead and run. What we're going to do is go ahead and show notress. So here you see, and this has got, again, it's got sprites automatically loaded in and so on, but the thing that you're going to want for sure is to have a main.lua as your entry point. And once again, same process. You just basically Usagi, and then you do run to do a one-time version, and there you see, and we've got sound effects playing, keyboard handling, and so on. So there is a simple Tetris game. There's all kinds of examples to get started with. And once again, you can probably just want to jump in here, dig into the code, try and figure out things as best as possible. The entry point, and really, literally all you need is a main. So this is, it's a requirement. And this is going to be, once again, where all your setup is done. There will be an init call, and then you're going to have an update call, which is, again, called every pass through the game loop. That's where your primary game logic is actually going to go ahead and exist, making an idea of what this is capable. So we head on back over to the web, like so. So this guy right here, and then we'll go back to here. You're going to find Usagi. It's pretty much all here. So usagiengine.com. You can also install via scripts if you like so, and then you just have to update it and add it to your path. Pretty straightforward process. And again, 1.0 was just released. Lots of new features there. But key features is, again, that live reload we saw earlier on. When you want to go ahead and export your project out, you just use Usagi export and it will build it. You can even build a web version that way quickly and easily. There is a pause menu automatically built in there. Easy saving of your game. Small API. Constrained to inspire creativity. So this goes back to the whole Pico 8 thing I was talking about earlier on with the whole concept of micro consoles. This is the default resolution is 320 by 180, and 16 by 16 is your default size for sprites, and all of your sprites will be in a single sprites.png texture. So we'll see here if I go over to the folder that we installed that one into, so Usagi, right here, examples, notress, right here, you're going to notice that sprites, all of your graphics are in this file here. So, other screen. And, okay, there's not a lot of sprites in that one. I thought it was going to be a sprite sheet, but no, there's literally just the one Tetris piece in that thing. But to get an idea, that's how all things work. And then otherwise, you've got these predefined subfolders. So if you want to go ahead and play a sound, you put it in this folder. Then same thing for sound effects, which are WAV files. And you can even run shaders. So you can see that in action once again. So let's go back over here to our terminal. cd ... cd shader. And then Usagi run. So here you can see this is using actual shaders here, so we can cycle between them. So scanline, there's a Game Boy style shader. There's no shader, and I just maximize that so you can see. So this is like some of the more advanced capabilities that are here. The nice thing is, once again, there are full-blown demo projects to jump into to get to know this stuff. So again, if you want to learn about shaders, here you can see this is the shader logic that's doing things. And here you can see fragment shaders there. That's the shader that is being run there for the Game Boy stuff. There's your other aspect of that shader. Here's the code to go ahead and run it. Very straightforward, simple stuff. So you're going to find, for the most part, when you jump into this guy, all you need is really to come to the usagiengine.com. and they will walk you through. So there is your default project layout. Once again, just run that init and it'll skeleton things for you. The Lua API cheat sheet is available here. It is really straightforward. So like toggling full screen is Usagi.toggle full screen. These are your various different callbacks in the life cycle. So config, init, update, and draw. So I'm going to make the assumption by the way they ordered these that draw is after update. That tends to be the norm for things. So these are going to be called once creation, once setup, every frame, after every frame. So that's all you need to really know to put your game in place. Here are your drawing commands, things like drawing circles. Here you can see for drawing sprites. This kind of goes back to the whole X and A thing. In that, it just in the way that the parameters feel for drawing sprites, feels very similar to X and A to me. Here are your default palettes that are built in. You're going to notice they're inspired by Pico 8. Then we got sound calls, input handling, and so on. It is just super simple to work with. Another thing you want to be aware of is there's also a set of tools. I think it's just Usagi and then tools, and then you see it's going to fire this up. So this is for browsing all the various different music files that are available, sprites that are available, any saves you've got, and then here is your color palette, so you can see what they are, copy that value out if you wish, and I believe you can also custom load in other different palette sets if you wish to do so. So there's that set of tools that are available for you as well, but it really is a very minimalist experience. It's again, in the line of like a Pico 8 and a LÖVE. Somewhere in between those two. It's probably simpler than LÖVE and probably a little bit more robust than Pico 8. But also a big difference there is it is completely free. So again, this documentation goes on for a long time, by the way. So everything here is documented. So again, here you want to bring in your own tile sheets. Here's details on how to do so. Here's how you can go ahead and export out your game for a variety of different platforms and targets and so on. Everything you need to know is here in this single document. So ladies and gentlemen, that is Usagi Engine, available at usagiengine.com. Also available for download on itch.io for a variety of different platforms. So once again, go to the download section here. You're going to see there's Linux, macOS, and Windows versions available for download. The 1.0 release happened just like a week ago. On top of that, you can see pretty constant update. This isn't that old, but it's getting pretty steady updates as it goes. Very interesting project in that regard. And then once again, open source project. If you like what he's doing, head on over to his GitHub. This will be linked in the linked article down below. Drop him a star. Not sure if they have a Discord server. No, at this point in time, it does not appear that they do. So ladies and gentlemen, that is Usagi Engine, a Lua-based cross-platform, open source game engine, completely free, for, again, creating pixel art style titles. Well, let me know what you think. Comments down below. Talk to you all later. Goodbye.